Hey everybody. How's life? Hey Wraith. How you doing, man? We're got a new version. I just saw it got pushed. That's pretty cool. We're playing .9L. And that's it, yeah. Back for another stream, ladies and gents. Thanks for being here. I always appreciate it if you're already here. I did level in between a little bit. We are now level 92. Our rogue. I'm giving him a few more levels, and I thought for today, we kind of know what the dual wield setup is like, and it's fine, but it's gonna suffer in like higher corruption, I'm pretty sure. So my idea is like we're gonna play for a little bit more dual wielded, maybe try to get some corruption up in like some timelines, and just overall get this timeline up a little bit, and then we might swap into a one-handed setup with just like one dagger and probably a Bastion of Honor or something, right? I have it. This thing. So it's even got a little bit of melee fizz, which is not terrible. And it's got a 100% block chance against enemy within 4 meters. That's the main thing, right? So this is a decent shield. And yeah, that's gonna be the plan for today, I think. We might change the chest as well, but mostly we'll just be playing, hanging out with you guys, and that's the main, the main deal here. I think in Black Sun we're pretty okay. Yeah, it's a decent shield, right? I feel though that if you're trying to make these builds work, it's kind of okay if it's a little, well, if you're using some stronger gear. And honestly, I'm not even using like that much of strong gear. It's, I think, quite manageable what we're trying to do here. Let's see, it's got health and damage and health and focus attacking players. So this boss, if I do it now, it's got a lot of health. But dodge is pretty bad as well. Let's see, shred armor is not too bad, and there's 2 uniques behind here. Yeah, it's a good mid-game shield. I mean, I think it's a good endgame shield as well, because of like 100% block. But I also have a load of shields, right? So I'm sure there's like some exalted shield that I have that, we can use. I'm sure. We'll just have to look into it. But for now, we'll play a little bit more of this. I think this is, to me at least, a more enjoyable playstyle, personally. I think it's going to be a bit more fun. These daggers, let me show you. When there's no enemies around, that is. So, these daggers... oh, is it a spire? Oh, it's a poison spire. That's not ideal. These daggers, they turn detonating shot from a ranged attack into a melee attack. And that's what you're seeing. Like, my attack is detonating shot, but then with 2 daggers. Well, detonating arrow, apparently. But yeah, I gotta change that in the guide as well. But yeah, detonating arrow. So, detonating arrow is this skill. It's a marksman signature skill, but it's normally a bow skill, but now it's a melee skill, and we're trying to make it work. And there's huge downsides to all of these. For example, one of the big downsides is I have to be a marksman, and if you're playing a melee build and your mastery is a marksman, that's not amazing, But still, like, we're doing pretty well. This is 140 corruption. It's not too shabby after all. And I'm kind of happy with where we're at so far. But I think if you want to push higher corruption, and we might, you know, do an attempt today at least, see what we're getting into, then it might simply just not be enough, right? That's what we've been hearing from like some viewers on the stream and whatnot. So yeah, I guess we'll see, ultimately, as always. But it's a cool unique. It's well designed, I think. It's just got an interesting vibe to it. And yeah. Okay, so it's more dodge, it's more void damage. Like void damage is basically gonna kill me outright there. There's a lot of void damage going around here, by the way. Like, this is not a good timeline at all. Look at how much void damage there is everywhere. This is not too bad. The 16%. Yeah. So how's your day so far? Movement. We got a decent amount of leech, for example, just in order to make us, you know, survive all of this. Okay, we can do that. Like, a little bit of damage is probably gonna be fine, but at some point even the little bit of damage are gonna hurt at this corruption level. But let's just make it through the monolith first. I think that's the main priority here. That's one. The other one's right over here. More void enemies. I mean, the rare enemies increased health and damage. I guess to some extent that might be fine. At least we can do the boss after this. Then the boss does 32% more damage. Like, that's, I guess, manageable. I guess we'll figure that out. I don't think there's any loot that I still need from the boss, but in terms of blessings, we seem to be fine as well. I got leech rating, so leech rating is pretty good. High speed and crits, fine. So many of those as well. Eviato. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate the $2. Hello to you as well. Okay, let's do a little bit of inventory management here. Let's see what we can get. We're just gonna dump all of those in the stash. I think this kind of stuff we can just get rid of. This is decent-ish. You know, for like if I ever make another necromancer, it's not bad. There you go, Golemancer, it's all good. Let's see. Fatality, Necrotic, Ellie, Area, no. Area of Dancing Strikes. We'll just shard that. It's tier 4, right? Just hoping to get a few shards. We only got one, but... Okay, we're getting rid of arena keys, always. Because I just don't want to do arena. A crit per equipped sword and then damage while wielding a dagger. Would have been nice if that was crit per equipped dagger, but yeah. Guess that's not gonna be a thing. Okay, Exalti, get all of this stuff in there. This is not really a good idol then, right? And the generic idol goes in here and the keys go in there. I might be running some of those at some point. But maybe not on this character. So we got a helmet, enraged at half health. Seems like a pretty bad idea for a boss in particular. Frenzy and haste is also really not amazing. Void damage is quite painful as well. I mean, we can do the Raya now. It's only more damage. That's roughly about it. Oh. I did not really see I was in the damage type there. But yeah, okay. So apparently I'm getting one shot there. That's not amazing. Let's see. This is the best part. Whenever he does that, then we're all good. Okay, let's get away from the thingy. It's hard to hit him with this skill particularly, because of the range and everything. That could have probably one-shot me, but I'm glad it didn't. I can probably one-shot him now. Yeah, there we go. Body armor, 1 LP. Let's see, 60 void res, shred void, health gain on block, spell damage, leech his health. Yeah, we got increased leech rate, which is, I think, pretty good for what we're trying to do here. Because we got like 17% leech. So as long as I don't get one-shot, I get a decent amount of leech. So we're gonna keep the current one. We're just killing these bosses for potentially some loot, but more than that, probably to get up the corruption, right? With the gazes of Orobis. I think that's the one of the main things. So now we can make them enraged. That's fine. We'll first do this. And I think we can go back to auto-casting Smoke Bomb. For just mapping, I think that's completely fine. I think the plan is to make a build guide for this on Friday. But before I was writing the script today, like a little bit earlier this evening, and I sort of noticed, like I was trying to sort of tell the story of like how of how we got here, right? And I just started writing, and I was like, well, you know. There's basically a few archetypes of this build. Basically 2 if you think about it, or at least 2 that I can think of. And one of them is the sort of archetype which I'm playing now, which is the dual wield. And we kind of know what this is about by now, or at least I know, because I've played this a lot now. But the other archetype is of course like with a dagger and a shield. So I was more like describing how that would work, and then I thought, well, you know, why don't I just play it for a little bit? So that I have a little bit of like hands-on experience with it as well. And then I can put that in the guide and maybe even like change the build. Because if it feels a lot better to play and like much less squishy, but still decent enough damage, which is kind of the question mark, right? If it's still gonna be enough damage. But if it is, and it could be, then yeah, why not, right? So maybe I'll still like change the build a little bit in that sense, because I was thinking there's this passive tree ability, I'll show you in a little bit when I'm not surrounded by enemies, which makes you spend more mana on skills that cost mana and then do more damage. And the thing is, now that I'm dual wielding these daggers, because they have minus mana cost, ow, this hurts so much. I'm not, I can't use those coated blades, because clearly I'm not spending mana, so I can't spend more mana on an already mana costing skill. So that's another like rogue passive that doesn't work for me. You will probably not have that issue when you're just like using one of the daggers, I would imagine. We'll see if that's actually true, but that's what I would imagine. Physical penetration with shadow daggers. Alright. I feel we gotta keep the enemies a little bit in check here, or I'm just gonna be completely overrun at some point. That's gonna help. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see like how much damage we will do with just one dagger. Clearly we're gonna miss 3 skill points as well, which is pretty huge. And we're gonna miss a lot of like flat damage, which is also pretty huge. So there are definite downsides there. Jesus. But yeah, that's what you get. Like, I'm not poison capped, so that might be a thing, but still, you really start noticing how hard it is to make this work. Dual wielding, that is. The damage is decent enough though, so that's kind of like my only concern is that damage is just not going to be good enough to even like do the corruption in the first place. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. But first we're gonna truck on a little bit with just a dual wield and see how we do. Because we might get our occasional one shot like you just saw over there, which is sort of okay, I guess. Like if that occasionally happens, I'm fine with it, but if this like constantly happens at 150-ish corruption, then yeah, that's kind of problematic, I would argue. And those balls are probably gonna one-shot me, right, if I'm not careful. Or if I don't dodge, you know, like I just did. Alright, another skill point. Yeah, no rewards, but that's kind of okay, I think. Yeah, that's kind of fine. Deal increased damage. Not a great idea. crit avoidance for a unique helmet or a set helmet. That's kind of okay. Right, and these go in here. A little bit more dexterity, a dodge debuff for them. So if they have dodge, then I can sort of shred their dodge chance. I guess that's a decent way of looking at it. I don't know, it might counter the mod on the map if you roll dodge. But I'm honestly not sure. Okay, we're gonna leverage this. Yeah, it's a set helmet. That's just not what you want to see typically. A Corsair, yeah. We'll do the health over here, I think. Make our way to another unique helmet. We're just running things for like levels and see how far we get, basically. There's no real strategy here. There's nothing really that I need anymore either. I'm clearly not like full build or anything, but like I think we have like a decent sort of base set of this build in terms of gear, and sure, it can always be better, but I think it's kind of okay the way it is. And also still achievable for if people want to follow this build, right? So it's not completely like out of hand. And I think it's fairly realistic what we got over here, so. All right. Yeah, slow's fine. Slow, chill, all of those are pretty much okay, as far as I'm concerned. Let me kill these guys first, because otherwise it's not gonna end too well. Yeah, we're just leeching through most of the damage. If it doesn't get too much out of hand, we're completely fine there. Another helmet. CDR for enemies, I think, is completely fine as well. High health enemies deal increased damage. Yeah, sure. We can get to some more interesting nodes. Alright. The bit of damage we get there over there is fine. How, sir, please. I love this song though. Could be a good song for like a video as well. I'll take the quiver, the dredge hook. Nah. I've yet to play like a decent sort of two-handed build. It's not really a thing right now. I'm also not really sure what I'm gonna play next. Maybe take like a quick break. Check out a little bit of Torchlight Infinite. I'm playing also Chronicon on the Steam Deck. Like whenever I have like a little break from work or before I go to bed, I just pop out the Steam Deck, play a bit of Chronicon, the new class, or like new. That's probably got released last year. I just haven't played it yet. Yeah, that was a little surprised that that didn't kill me actually. Comic here. Yeah, the machinist, yeah, or the engineer or something like that. I think, yeah, the machinist or something. It's fun so far. I'm not even sure what level I am. I'll be completely honest. Like, I'm in Act 4, let's say, out of 5. Like, halfway through Act 4 out of 5. I'm probably level 40, 50, something like that. And, yeah, you got a few options, right? I'm playing physical minions. There's poison and a third and a fourth, I think. So I'm like spawning turrets and drones and that kind of thing. It's basically like a minion class. Well, it doesn't have to be, but I'm playing it like a minion class. It's fun. I'm having fun. But I'm always having fun in Chronicon. CDR is fine, right? Yeah, I also hadn't played. Like the last time I played was, I don't know, whenever I made a video about that. That's years ago. That's years ago. Minion build, so skip the DLC. Yeah, you don't have to play minion though, right? There is you're walking around with a gun and an axe for some reason. And you also can spec completely like into just like gun and axe abilities. So like shooting, releasing buzz saws. My subclass is focusing on parrying a bit, and then a bunch of on parry effects. The skill description literally says like if you parry, you shoot your enemy in the face for 200% like gun damage. And yeah, you can do a bit of a mix between melee and gun. So it's definitely not a minion class, I would say. It just has the option to summon a bunch of like cute little robots and turrets and artillery and whatnot. But it's definitely not the only thing that it does. So if that's what's holding you back, I would just spend the €5 like I did and buy it and do another run through. Because you're probably gonna have an amazing time. Because that game is such a breath of like fresh air. Especially if you compare it to all of the, you know, sort of more established action RPGs. I just love that you can bind all of your skills to a single button. And then it's got auto pickup, loot filter stuff, right? You just run around the maps. You're pressing a single button. Literally every build can be a single button build, no matter how complicated your build is. Because you can bind all skills to the same button. That's just genius design right there. And then you're walking through the levels. It's like, oh, it's so beautiful. It gets boring after like 40 hours, right? So I understand why a game like Last Epoch doesn't do it. But every now and then it's really nice that you have that option, I feel. We are sort of circling around the center, which is not the most effective way to do anything, really. Let's go outside a bit. Eee! I was having a drink, sir. Not like this. Yeah, that's what autocast does to you. Holy moly, dude. Sorry, no, no, it's fine. Have you guys played the latest patch? That is on my to-do list as well, yeah. Well, I did play it. I'm level 70. I did the campaign again, so I got the additional points. I got a pretty strong build there as well. But the Slormancer hasn't really changed like much. I think they got a very solid base game, and they are just working on content and the new. I'm expecting the new patch in like 2 months or something. At the start of June, they'll do another sort of devlog update, and they're gonna announce when the new patch is gonna be out. So that's probably, you know, 6 to 8 weeks from now, something like that. Maybe depending a little bit on the, you know, maybe they'll try to plan it a little bit around existing hype, but probably not. Because, you know, the Slormancer doesn't really suffer from that, I would say. Yeah, it's slow development. I mean, it's 2 people, right? They're making the whole game with 2 people. Ooh, Herald of the Scurry. Nice. Yeah, that might actually be my next build, a scurry build. That slaps pretty much, right? Like that's pretty good, I think, isn't it? Isn't that supposed to be pretty good? Yeah, the slow development, but very good. I kind of like that. I mean, they also make very few mistakes. That's true. Vampire Survivors is an even more simplistic game than the Sloremancer, though. I think there's like, it's probably got 10% of the code that the Sloremancer has. Like, these levels, they are just non-existent pretty much, right? There's no level design whatsoever. Like, it's really only characters, abilities, and enemies. That's all that game is. And a genius idea, of course, but yeah. So it's not a totally fair comparison. But I see what you mean. And I thought it was just one guy. Vampire Survivors. I thought it was a single dev game. But maybe he got another. I think it was just one guy. From Italy, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. That game, I mean, that game is something else. Yeah, I was about to die. I knew that. My bad. I'm definitely struggling at this corruption level. Like, we have to pick the notes very carefully, and it's not amazing, you know. I know. I mean, you could compare it to Chronicon, right? The Sloremaster, in many ways. And in many ways, it is comparable, but Chronicon was made by also one person. Until later, he added his fiance to the team, and now it's a duo studio. But I'm pretty sure the Chronicon is done, so you know it's received the final update. And I don't think we're gonna get anything else from that game anymore. But hopefully a Chronicon 2, like that'd be pretty sweet. Although I'm not sure like people would go for that. Yeah, there's so much going on. Like this month and like the next upcoming months are completely crazy. Am I interested in New V Rising? I was watching Lone Star McFluffin. And he's apparently playing that as well. He's gonna make a server and whatnot. I don't really know what the new update is about. I haven't really followed V Rising too much. I have the game. I think I just bought it, and I enjoyed it for what it was, but not as much as other people. I feel like at some point for me the game became stale fairly quickly, you know. And yeah, I think that's true, right? Like I think like where do you take Chronicon from here? That's really an excellent question. So. Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Like, is Chronicon 2... Like, people... If it's just more of the same, people will buy it and enjoy it. And if he enjoys creating another Chronicon, like, it's basically a surefire way to just make some more money, make another good game. You can't really go wrong. But how innovative can you still be? Also with classes and whatnot. So, yeah, I don't know. You're not gonna turn it into like a 3D game all of a sudden. Like that's impossible, right? So what are you realistically gonna do with that game? Same way. I really like theorizing. Yeah, but also had no desire. Yeah, I'm not sure I got even 70 hours into that game. I can have a quick look. I think it's much less. Yeah, 13. 13.6. So it's much less. Right, it's Gloomworld. Is that what's coming out? When is it coming out? May 17th? Oh no, wait. A fresh campaign, what does it say? Build epic castles. Yeah, oh, May 17th, 1 week away. Alright. Yeah. Ooh, void enemies deal 120% increased damage in this timeline. I mean, exalted chests are really fucking good. So I guess we'll give it a try, but oh, it's an arena with void monsters. Yeah, okay, that's great. Yeah, this is not gonna end well. Oh. Leech, keep leeching, sir. May 17th, huh? When is the next last Epoch patch then? May 25th? A week before D4, yeah. That's probably smart, right? At least people still will play it. And I think they don't really need the hype right now. So it's probably a good idea. Get out a little bit of a patch. It basically functions as a reminder, right? Like, okay guys, you're gonna play like Diablo 4 and Path of Exile for the next 4 months. But we still exist, right? So let us remind you just a week before this madness starts. So unless Diablo 4 really sucks, which I don't think will happen, because I've already played it, and it did not suck at all. I thought it was pretty good actually. But yeah. 2 maximum ballistae. Yeah, so I don't get the thing that I was looking for, which is plus levels on the detonating arrow. But we still get decent stuff, typically. Does not fit in inventory. Yeah, a week before D4. D4 is gonna be wild as well. So much content around that game as well. I don't really see myself making too much content, I don't think, around D4. I might try 1 or 2 videos just to see if it like picks up any traction, but the market for that kind of videos is it's gonna be very difficult, right? This is a good idol. I'm gonna try and fit that in. Let's see. This chest with 1 LP. I got 2 of them already. It's like it's completely fine. Area with acid flask. We'll get rid of that. I played the free beta, right? Yeah, I'm typically the same way, but for this game I was like, you know, there's such a high chance that I'm just gonna have a good time with this game. It's Diablo after all, and I was not disappointed by the beta. And for me, I mean, I'm paying 90 bucks. I got the battle pass included in that, right? So I'm probably gonna enjoy just grinding it out a bit for the battle pass. It gives you some purpose at least to do as well. And then just enjoying the world and the world building, the combat, I thought was really crisp. The way the game looks and sounds is really crisp. And so that's, you know, that's likely 100 hours-ish. 90 bucks for 100 hours of probably good fun. That's fine, you know. That's fine with me at least. But I understand not everybody sees that the same way. But for me that's okay. I think that's completely manageable actually. Alright. Get the keys in there. My second scurry. Is it better? No, it's not better at all. It's worse in every way. Apart from shred fizz. So this is for bleed squirrel and this is for fish shred squirrel. Ideally you have both, I suppose. Yeah. Alright. Let's try if we can fit that in. There we go. Crit multi and armor shred effect. That's pretty much the jackpot as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's not a money issue. Yeah. No, I completely understand. And I normally have the same rule, but in this case I thought, yeah, you know, I'll just play it. I had a lot of time that weekend as well, so I basically spent the entire weekend playing the game. I don't regret it. Normally I don't really pre-order either. There's no need. I completely understand what you're talking about. Do we have multiplier here? No. Okay. That should increase our damage a little bit more. Okay, so we gotta get this void damage out of here as soon as we can, right? One way or another. So let's give him defensive modifiers, I think. Yeah, that was my reasoning too. I'm like, yeah, but I'm gonna buy it anyway, right? It's not that I'm not gonna buy it. But there are other games, like there would be a few games that I would pre-order just because I know I'm gonna buy it anyway. Another example is probably Starfield, right? Although that game is a lot more finicky, I think, than Diablo 4. Like, I don't know if that's gonna be a good game. Whereas with Diablo 4, I was like, well, you know, the devs seem confident enough. What we're seeing from the game, it's looking pretty decent. The beta, multiple betas actually. Yeah, Starfield, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Have you tried Undecember? No. No, it's another one on the list, I suppose. Of games that are apparently or allegedly good, or at least interesting. No, I think first up would be Torchlight Infinite, honestly. Starfield is the new game of Bethesda. It's basically Skyrim, but then in space. With Todd Howard and everything, right? It's gonna be a pretty good game. Sci-fi is really my cup of tea. Yeah, I kind of like sci-fi. Also in ARPGs, you don't really have too many ARPGs in sci-fi. The Warhammer one, that's pretty good. Inquisitor Martyr.
Easy. Too easy.
Superfuse. Yeah, Superfuse was fun until it wasn't. I think it was too repetitive, but yeah, another game, right, that I have to go back to at some point. Although this one I recently visited. The game is terrible. Superfuse? Is it terrible? It's not terrible, right? But it wasn't amazing either. I did a bit of a early access review on that thing. I thought it was too expensive. That's the title of the video. And it requires a lot of work, but I think it's got potential. I kind of enjoyed it. Thanks for the follow, buddy. I appreciate it, man. It's just so basic. Yeah, it is very basic. I agree with that. And it's got some like obvious flaws as well, which you would think you would, recognize during any sort of testing phase. Like the way that skill tree was progressing, or like the passive tree, the DNA strand, which holds all your skills. It takes so incredibly long to get the like interesting points in that tree, that you're walking around with like a single fireball for like 11 levels. Your first 11 character levels, and that's like half of the campaign. And then you're just like, you have literally one skill that is useful. And you would think that, people point that out, right? And from what I've read, people did actually point it out, but the developers just really didn't do anything with it. With that information, because it's clear as day that that's a bad idea, right? Like, you just play the game for like one playthrough, and you're gonna notice like, hey, this is not great. It has nothing to do with balance, that some skills are balanced or not. It had everything to do with that you didn't realistically get enough skill points during the campaign to make it sort of like remotely interesting. Which, yeah. Not sure. 60 crit, health gain on crit. That's not bad. And frailty. Frailty is not bad either, but I can't miss the 59 void res, I'm afraid. They've been silent? Really? Have they though? I'm pretty sure I've seen here's patch notes, March 1st. I mean, yeah, that's 2 months. And then when did it launch? It launched... I did give it a not recommend, to be fair. February. Yeah. So it's been out for 3 months. They've been doing patches for a month, and now they're somewhat silent, but I mean, what does this say? I haven't really read this at all. Paint shop boosters, like anything. It's got a decent amount of likes. That's typically a good sign, right? 187 for a game like this. It means a lot of people are still interested in it. You can sort of gauge how good a game is doing just by the engagement that a post like this has. So it's got like 187 for a game like Superfuse. That's pretty good. I think the game actually would play a lot better these days, you would think. I think they made some easy fixes. Also working with community feedback. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, another arena. All right.
Easy. Too easy.
They have a Kiss of Death too. 35 positive reviews for the last 30 days. Ooh. Very rare, yeah. Huh. Yeah, but I mean, it does make sense. Because I gave it a negative review, but not because it was so bad or anything. Because I don't think it was all that bad. But they did charge like 25 euros, I think, for it. That was one of my main concerns. I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, you can definitely see the potential. This is not a bad game, but it's way overpriced. Like, I can get very similar, completely finished and much better early access games for 5 or 10 euros cheaper than what these guys are putting out. And also it didn't have a lot of content, right? Like, I ran through the campaign, it took me, I don't know, 8 hours maybe? And then your max level was level 30. I did like they had some sort of end game. It was a bit basic, but at least it was there and it was functional. Like, the end game system was sort of okay, I felt. I'm like, yeah, alright. I mean, for early access, it's completely fine, right? For what we got here. So you could stay busy if you wanted to. But I just couldn't really get myself to like grinding it out. I didn't even make it to level 30. Because I was just like, yeah, this is... I mean... this doesn't have enough content to keep me interested. The quest... yeah, that's absolutely true. I complain about that as well. The amount of backtracking you had to do in that video game. Holy moly. And like the indicators were all over the place. Also, I had levels that generated... because it was randomly generated quest zones, right? And sometimes they were randomly generated in such a way that you just couldn't complete the quest. Because you couldn't access the room that the quest item was spawned in. Because the map generation was... It just wouldn't allow you to enter the room. Because it was just not... it was simply not accessible. So there was something wrong in their level generation from time to time, where it would generate maps with parts of a map you just couldn't get to, because there was no path towards that piece of the map. And then they put the quest item there, and you were like, yeah, and now what? So you would just have to restart the game and pray for a better layout. But those are all sorts of like things that I can forgive an early access game, because it's early access. It's like, yeah, alright, you know. Nah, it had quite a few issues, right? Now that you got me talking about it and I sort of keep remembering new stuff, I was like, oh yeah, it had that too. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's true actually, it had that too. Like all things, I think I pointed out most of the things in the review. Like it wasn't a particularly positive review either, but I think it was pretty fair and balanced still, hopefully. But I think ultimately, like if they would have asked like 10, 15 euros for that game, people would have appreciated a lot more because you're simply not as demanding for a game of that price point. And I think that makes sense. But instead, I don't know what they're selling it for. I can check in a little bit here. But I think it was 25, which is crazy, right? Let's store page. Oof. It's yeah, 25 euros for this game. It's just way too much. It's just way too much. Yeah, I agree. A lot of stuff is easy to fix. It's sitting at mix 54, yeah, and then 35 of the last 34 user reviews are negative. Oh, are positive. Yeah. I don't think they would abandon it though. I think like it's still got a solid foundation as long as they sold enough copies, which I'm not sure they did. But as long as their sort of initial launch was like kind of okay, you would expect these guys to keep working on it, right? Like what else are they gonna do? Like make a completely new game from scratch? That's not super likely either. High speed and crit, sure. Take the money and run. Yeah, but I think that's kind of a misconception. Like that even implies that, you know, they aren't already losing money on it or something. Like I don't know. That is so rare for that to happen, right? In gaming, like in cryptocurrency, sure, you know, it happens all the time. But in gaming, I mean, that's just not really. It's pretty rare, right? Especially with indie games. They mostly just run out of money or funding or resources. But they don't take the money and run. That's such a like an internet narrative that is based on, I think, very little. There are a few instances, but those are all like these crypto games or like, you know, Chronicles of Illyria. You know, that game, I mean, yeah, okay, but that's not typically the kind of indie game that you're seeing, right? D4 live stream started? Nah, I'm not gonna watch that. I'll watch it later. I'll watch Asmongold react to the live stream. That's probably my kind of enjoyment over there. I like his perspective on these kind of things. And I mean, I'm not that much into Diablo 4, to be honest. Like, yeah, I paid a bit of money for it, and sure, I'm gonna play it. And I'm somewhat excited, but yeah, I'm much more excited about like any upcoming Path of Exile stuff, to be honest. For me, it's really just another ARPG for on the list. Maybe make some content about it. That's kind of it. Where is this thing? But like I said earlier, I think the market is going to be extremely crowded for the content creation market for Diablo 4. It's going to be it's not going to be such a good proposition, I feel. So, yeah. Probably not going to get too much into that. Besides, I know next to nothing about the game, let's be honest. I only played it for a little bit. Armor shred duration, fire penetration. I mean... We'll just give them randomly increased damage. I think that's kind of fine. Yeah, there will be huge demand. Yeah. Yeah, for me it's not such a tough call, honestly. Like, I just think it's a plain bad idea. I think you gotta know a little bit like what your strengths also would be. And I think in terms of like... I honestly wouldn't really know what content to make about it. At this moment in time. Like, I just made a small video with like some thoughts. But, I mean, that did okay. I guess everybody was looking for an opinion on the beta. So that didn't do like terrible. But nothing mind-blowing either. And if I look at like my channel and what content does well, it's mostly like guides and reviews, right? That's what works. And like realistically, what guide would I make about Diablo 4? Like I had no idea, right? Like a build guide? I don't know. Build options seem so limited. I guess we'll get into the end game. Like if I figure out like some sort of interesting build, I'll make a guide about it, sure. But I can't really see myself going into like the game's mechanics or that kind of thing, right? I just don't really see it happen. I'm happy in that regard with just like last Epoch, having a decent understanding of that game and yeah. Going that route instead, I think. Alright, we're gonna make a bit of a swap here. Should be kind of interesting. Well, who knows? I think it'll be kind of interesting. I'm gonna try and get rid of one dagger. Probably the... I'm afraid the attack speed one. So we'll be left with... maybe the leech one, actually. No, let's get rid of the leech one. Equip a shield instead. And... go one-handed for a while. We also do a bit of a respec on the passives. Wait, did it not pick it up? Sir, please. Okay. I think we're just gonna look at a shield that may either make sense or... well, mostly that, right? Just a shield that kind of makes sense, I guess. Has to be exalted for sure. So that's with minion stuff, Spriggan, Ellie Res, block. Chance to bleed, fist ban, the slab. With 3 LP. I mean, you could in theory consider it, but yeah, okay. Lightning res, less lightning. Shock chance. It's kind of interesting for a lightning build. I mean, the Bastion of Honor is it's probably a very solid choice. It's got some health, some mana. And we're very close to enemies that we would like to block. So in that sense, it's always Bastion. I mean, Bastion is just very good, right? What is triggering shield here? I don't really get that. Why is this popping up in shield? It's kind of strange. But we might have something good, like, you know, melee damage. It's definitely a choice here. Were you the one advocating for it yesterday as well? Or who was that? I mean, we can just try it, right? And then see what's up. Because we're not gonna use armor. Health, more health. Log chance. Yeah, you would want it to be less strong. Right. I mean, it already got nerfed. It used to be much worse. But yeah, it's hard to beat, huh? And imagine this thing dropping with legendary potential. It's gonna be absolutely nuts. It is super rare though, like in all my playtime I've only found one, so... It's not like you're gonna find a shitload of these things. But I suppose if you target farm for it with high corruption you might, but then again... Haven't you already reached your goal, you know? That's kind of my take. Okay, let's remove both for now. Because then I can have some choice in skill points. We put that in, and we need to visit the Chronomancer, or whatever the thing is called. And I'm gonna get a drink as well. Okay, so first the tree, right? Let's see which nodes it took out. It took out the attack speed and the shock duration. I think the attack speed is pretty much mandatory. I'm not sure this does even work. I'm pretty sure this doesn't work, so let's remove that point. And we're just gonna cut away a bit at the explosion area, I'm afraid. Because let's figure this out, right? Like 2 points in this is 20% more damage and 40% more area. No, increased. Right. Whereas a point in here is 25 area, and then another point in here is less explosion radius. That also gonna increase. So this is not an amazing node, I feel. So we're definitely gonna pick these up. Oh wait. Well, and then 15 attack speed, I guess. I mean, this seems like a decent-ish middle ground, I suppose. We're losing out on a lot though, not gonna lie. We're losing out on quite a bit. We could try and get rid of the attack speed. Might feel a bit worse, but at least we do damage. I don't know. But yeah, we're giving up a significant amount here. Explosion hit damage per 5% missing health. Per 5% health a day. 3% more per 5% health the enemy is missing. I mean... Let's do this. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of my problem, but we're getting something in return, I think. Because it does now cost 4 mana, right? Because normally it's free. Well, normally. But it used to be free. Which also makes me think that if you get like these things with not -5 mana, but minus 3... If one of these two is -3 mana, I have more. And you make the skill cost 1 mana, you can do something else that's pretty cool. It's just -5, -6, What is the range of these things? It can roll with -3, but I have nothing in that part. That's unfortunate. But okay. So we'll do this. We'll have to respec quite a bit. For example, all of this dual wielding stuff is gonna go out, but instead we're gonna take the coated blades. But I don't think the full extent, because I'm not sure we can afford that. But yeah, this has got to go. It's not massive. It's a bit of dodge, and we're gaining another, you know, 9% not increased health or increased damage taken. Let's see, is there anything else here that is still kind of like messing me up? I don't think we can put 8 points in here, because we can't sustain that. We're getting 8 mana per attack. We'll gain a little bit of mana, but I think 2 points in here might actually be kind of the maximum. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to do here. I don't think so. The rest is not dual wield. So it's a pretty easy transition in that sense. We're gonna take, you know, 2 points. How bad is this gonna be? Oh, I can't cast here. I do have 170 mana though, so we should be okay for a bit. Let's start with 2 points. See how bad it gets. Otherwise, we'll add another point. And I think the rest of the points we'll either spend in like 15% damage, which is like, that's a bad proposition, right? We're gonna spend it in this, I think. Okay, so we got 2 points left, which we could just put in that skill. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we'll do here. Oh yeah, and let's get a drink too. It's an easy enough swap, but yeah, and we'll get the point back, right, from the tree, from the skill. All right. Let's see. I think the damage by itself was actually kind of okay. It's just that for bosses this is probably gonna be pretty bad.
Easy. Too easy.
We're we're out of mana. Oh god. This is not working at all. Wait, let's stop autocasting. That's one thing, right? Let's stop autocasting. But you can't sustain this. Oh man, I don't know about this. I can get mana back by spamming puncture, I guess. But that's not what I want to be doing here. I'm also not crit capped anymore because I'm missing 4 base crit, right? So my damage is absolutely horrible. Yeah, the crit is problematic, like the lack of crit. Like I'm completely speccing into like crit multi. You'd have to... I feel that you're just losing so much right now, right? I feel you're losing so much that, yeah, I don't really know. I've never seen anyone try detonating on a blade dancer. I mean, that's the whole point of the unique, right? That's why I am not a blade dancer, actually. I'm a marksman, but I have to be a marksman in order to get detonating arrow. And then this item turns it into a melee skill. That's the whole idea of the build. So there's no other way to play this specific item. But it is a tall order, regardless. But yeah, this little test run did not feel good at all. As in, at all. Now you could drop but then it's even then you even have less damage. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Yeah. Oh. I can't dual wield anymore.
Hello, traveler.
I had 3, I'm pretty sure. And then out of here. Oh no, this is fine, right? Yeah, that was a change. I'm missing out way too much. Like even more than I thought, because this is 4 base crit, right? Which I'm also missing. And then I'm missing like 100 flat damage. I'm missing the leech. I'm getting out of mana. I'm missing skill points. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you should dual wield this. Yeah, the base crit hurts massively. Like the 4%, I suddenly gotta get me like, what would that be? At least another 100 to 150% increased crit from somewhere in order to be crit capped. But also the crits, they don't really hurt that much anymore. I don't know. The attack speed seems like a good idea regardless, right? Let's do this. The crit multi, of course. We don't need crit chance. And this seems like a decent node regardless. So you do the damage in the area. You might even do the area over here as well. Just to mess around with it. Or just fill this up. And then keep it like this. That might be okay too.
Do not dwell on me.
Alright. Well, that was a very short test run, but it immediately felt pretty bad, not gonna lie. So, that's also good information to have. Like, that's one of the things that I wanted to check out, but it's just, I just don't really see it work with a dagger and a shield, unless you build it like that from the start, but it's not just an easy swap. But yeah, in terms of damage, ooh, not great. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just keep on farming. We'll just keep on farming. Yeah, the experiment total failure next. Yeah, it's good information to have. Like, I'll put that in the build guide, and because I was already thinking about it. But at least I can sort of tell people why I don't think that's a good idea, right? And it's honestly, like, you play a build like this to have some fun, right? Like, I mean, you know, kind of, that it's not gonna be a competitive build with like basically any other blade dancer out there. I think you're gonna be, it's gonna be pretty easy to make a better blade dancer build than this. That's not a tall order, right? Like whether you use shurikens or just blade dancing, or, but if you enjoy sort of messing around with new kind of original-ish builds with original items and put some time and effort into it, I think this is an interesting build. Just to showcase, basically. Crit per sword, damage while dagger. Enrage. I don't want to enrage if I want to do the boss, right? Can I get another rare enemies or something? Like something so that I can do the boss again. Fizz? I mean, Fizz is not amazing. Rare enemies have CDR. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I hate this map. This is such a bad map. Last point is in this. Yeah, that's just decent for like single target-ish. So we're sort of back to where we were. I think even a small improvement in the skill tree. Hello, sir. The damage is fine. Damage is fine. Okay, time for the boss. Maybe we get something good. Who knows? Might get lucky. Oh. Okay, we can probably kill threshold him. There we go. Oh, an amulet. Ooh. That's pretty rare. Flat dodge. 47. That's a 2% increased leech. That's pretty good. Yeah, we'll take it. Replace. No legendary potential. That's a bit of a shame, but hey, we'll take it. And the increased is this is pretty decent actually. Yeah, it low rolled on all of it, which you know might be better than you high roll on all of it, because then you take so much more damage. It's pretty good. I'm not too unhappy about that. And it's a rare amulet. Hey William. You're welcome to lurk, buddy. I mean, I do that literally all the time when I'm watching a stream. No, I've never used the amulet either, but like, it's decent. It's just a little questionable. Like, ideally, you use at least spells in 2 out of the 3 categories, right? I was thinking maybe about like some like necrotic fire conversion or something, but yeah, ideally you have something, and it might be this might be much better in the future as well, where potentially something like a warlock actually uses multiple of these skills. Like, it's gonna be not too easy, I feel, to find like a fire and a necrotic spell that you use. And then ideally also a void spell in the mix, one reason or another. But yeah, I mean, it's just flat spell damage in general is pretty good, pretty decent, I suppose. Okay, so we did another Black Sun. We should go for an Orobis, if we don't really see like any more interesting nodes. Especially now that we sort of can, right? Is there an open Orobis that is gonna give me some corruption? Not really. Here. Oh no, -2. I still need to get there. Frenzy and haste when hit. Okay, I think we'll have to travel a little bit more for that kind of stuff. Where's the... oh, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Increased fizz. Okay, I don't understand easy to take and multi-damage sources. Yeah, there's skills and unique separate in here, and yeah. I'm not sure they really have a take. I think, like, some uniques are just designed, like, in theory it's pretty cool. Like, you're getting close to 40 to 50 flat spell damage. With a significant downside, right? Increased damage taken. But it's pretty hard to get like 40, 50 flat spell damage on anything, really. So in that sense, it's probably pretty strong. And I can imagine that only at a later sort of date, you're gonna maybe figure out a build for something like this, or, you know, maybe new class gets introduced or a new skill even. And then all of a sudden this item is good and interesting. So I'm not like too against it in that sense, if that makes any sense. I think it's completely fine to design uniques that are like cool just by itself in a vacuum, and then you just trust that at some point in time somebody's gonna come up with a build like that. I mean, that's what happens in PoE all the time, right? Like, PoE holds a lot of like useless uniques at surface level, but then you have these build makers and they have their way with it, and all of a sudden these days apparently Juju's whatever amulet, like the Chaos amulet, is super popular because somebody figured out a way to use it in a build, whereas nobody before would ever use that amulet. And I think that's gonna happen with this amulet too. Like, right now it seems like a bit of a weird thing, but over time it will probably find its place. You could even try to, you know, make it into something, I guess. It's a bit of a challenge. But that's kind of what I'm trying to do, I think, with like these builds currently. Like, I know there are better ways to build this character if all you care about is reaching the maximum corruption. But I think it's fun and sort of interesting to see how far you can go with a build that you know is not that good, but it is fun to play and figure out. I think that's part of the beauty for me for playing these games. Just trying to figure out the build. And I think Last Epoch is very good at it too. Like, they do allow for fairly easy respecs, and they have fairly intuitive stuff overall. So it's not like you're wondering all the time what a skill does or what a node means or that kind of thing. I think there's like bits and pieces from the stream of Mike, I would imagine, regarding the classes. And you can sort of like... I mean, aren't the descriptions there even? I think the descriptions are there too. What is it, like passive? Falconer? No, it's there if you pick your mastery, right? There's a description there. So you get some sort of an idea. But also for the longest time, like, there was nobody working on this class design at all. So I think also internally, I think they might have like a general direction of where they want to take these classes. But up until like probably like a year ago at least, like nobody was thinking necessarily about skills or that kind of thing. So that probably has changed now that we've got our multiplayer, and it seems that quite a few of the big hurdles are behind them, right? But still, I don't think there's too much information that's known in that sense. Maybe not even to themselves. I don't know if you ever... oh, wait. See, Epoch had an update? Yeah, a small one. I think they fixed the... I didn't read it, actually. But from what I read, like the first 2 lines of the description, I think they mentioned the bug where some people in single player couldn't actually enter the dungeons. Which, you know... it's also a way to get people to play multiplayer, I suppose. I think that is now fixed. I mean, we can have a small look here. We've been swapping in and out of this anyway. Here, what does it say? Likely fixed bug. That's also a good description. We think we fixed it. We spent many hours confirming it's fixed, so we're pretty confident. Okay. Okay. Sure. Fixed the bug where you could enter a dungeon without consuming a key. Oh. Monolith. Fix a bug where echoes would fail to spawn enemies. Never have that. Emperor of Corpse's Soul Bomb now deals less damage the further you are away from the center of the ability. That's nice. That's nice. Fix the bug where monolith modifiers could be duplicated. If a timeline had an impossibly high number of mods, those duplicated mods will be removed. Okay. Gameplay. Fix the bug where using traversal skills while you had certain other skills on your bar. Resulting... caused a stutter to build up with each user, resulting in a game freeze. Huh. Okay. Thank you for continuing. That's it, right? So it's very small patch. Okay, we can get 18 corruption in here. Potentially more if we manage to do another Raya. You gotta clear these mages or you're just gonna reach your objective and then they're still following you for some reason. They're still messing you up with these incredibly annoying meteors. How is he healing? Because otherwise you're here, you're being like, they're dropping like 10 meteors on your head, right? It's just not something you want to have happen, ideally. Okay. Ooh. I'm losing out on crit multi though, but I would get increased area, which is not bad. Let's say ward, decoy, mana, fit, dodge, endurance. Yeah, okay. Crit chance per equipped dagger and armor shred effect. Holy moly, that's a very good one. That's a very good one. Much better than this thing. I can't lose the res though, but I can lose the health if need be. I can also use or lose the shred. I can lose this thing for sure, and like the shred armor chance we can lose. This is an amazing one. And then we just do some damage or something while wielding a dagger. I might have a better one of those as well, in theory. Armor shred effect, dodge rating if hit. They're rare. Another crit and damage, but I like the other one more. What about the square ones? Double shred. Let's see, can I pull that off somehow? No. I can't. Can I pull off the other one? No, probably not. Huh. Resist. Ellie res. I don't need Ellie res though, I need the other ones. Okay, we can pick up like some smaller, because I think it's still like fairly amazing, honestly. Because I think the smaller ones, like this is not gonna do too much. There are very good ones, I just don't have them. So maybe for now, we're just gonna fill them with either health or poison res, honestly. Poison? 7 and dodge. That's fine. You wonder how some of these things even pop up, right? Like, how does this pop up for poison? That's kind of like really strange to me. It makes no sense at all, even either. Health. Only the square ones work, I feel. So health and water retention. It's got the most health though. Health is always good, I guess. Oh, there is poison res here. How does that not show up? I don't get it. Here's another 7%. 74. Okay, then we'll just take health, right? We'll just take the most health. The water retention is clearly pointless, but hey. Okay, we are at 2042. Guess that's fine. Okay. I already got 3 of these things. Oh, I even got with one with 2 legendary potential. Holy moly. It's pretty good. Alright. Yeah, see you later, Comicer. Thanks, buddy. I'm not sure I want to give him dodge. Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't want to give him dodge. I want to give him something that, like, shred. Shred is fine, right? Like, it's not fine, but for bosses it's fine. If I want to do a boss battle, like, giving them shred is okay. It's not okay for mapping. Because it completely destroys your defenses, but yeah. Ow. Yeah. Are we okay, yeah, we're patrolling siege golems, okay. Okay, health and melee hit, crit multi. Sure. Crit avoidance, rares. Yeah, we'll take the rares. This isn't leading anywhere. I was like, wait, I've never taken this path before. But yeah, now I know why. It's more patrolling siege golems here. Let's see, these two are pretty close. Let's see if we can catch them together, sort of. Let's get this one first, I guess. He's closest. This is a decent poison dagger here. Melee damage create chance to poison, and then another, is it tier 6? Yeah, another tier 6 poison damage on it. Let's see, enemies have health, shred. If I can get one more, which is like kind of okay for a boss, which is not void enemies. And that's not frenzy and haste. It's not dodge either. I mean, increased phase maybe, but it's still kind of finicky for a modifier, honestly. Dodge still. High health enemies deal 50% increased damage. Yeah, but then I'd rather have them with 50% increased health. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. the fight's just gonna take a bit longer, but I guess that's okay. Alright. And after this we do an Orbis with which would bump up the corruption level significantly. Okay, well he's close to halfway damage here. But yeah, this is what you get, I guess. I mean, the 51% increased health hurts. It's not a bosser, this character, for sure. And he probably still one-shots me with like most abilities. So yeah, I guess I'm just happy to be able to have some time with him every now and then, so I can still hit. But this ability in particular, I mean, as a melee, this is just going to be very difficult to sort of do. Ooh. That's pretty close. I mean, yeah, I was about to say, you'd think we can kill him. We can, okay. Crit multi, ooh, 39 crit multi. Instead of leech. I didn't even know crit multi dropped here, not gonna lie. What's the roll on that? Ooh, it's almost max roll, wow. Yeah, we'll take that. Okay, open portal. Oh, it doesn't take away a thing? Like the boss doesn't take away? So the Orbis also has 51% more health? Eesh. Alright, well, here goes nothing, I guess. Orbis can be pretty difficult. But let's see, oh wait, I gotta... Oh, is he already coming? He is already coming, okay. This is not bad at all. Like, at all. We can almost Culling Strike him. There we go. That's very comfortable, actually. Yeah, very comfortable. Horribus is so much easier than those Limelight bosses as well. Alright, 165 corruption. I mean, you know. Can we get to this guy below us? Yeah. That was quick too. We're killing these guys really, really fast. Like this additional 40% multiplier is... It seems massive. We'll take the crit avoidance, I think. Yeah, we'll take this whole sort of jewelry node that we ran into. Is this a dead end or? Alright. Ooh, it's starting to hurt. Okay. Ooh. This is pretty good. A Galvan blasting agent with 2 legendary potential. Hey, Vertigo. This could be fun as well, huh? With a bit of luck, we can check that. Like decoy, not transfer materials, decoy. Level of decoy is on a helmet. Okay. How have you been, Vertigo? Everything well? Here we're just keeping farming. We're level 94. And pretty much I try to play my builds to level 95. And that's kind of the cutoff point for me. Then I'm like, yeah, okay, this is... I mean, we've seen how this build works, right? Leveled this all the way from scratch, so... It's your birthday today. Happy birthday, buddy. That's nice. So you got like any people visiting later? Or like this weekend or something? Like, are you doing anything or... Are you just fine? With family over cake today. Right. Yeah, that's what you do, eh? But that's nice. Did you get any interesting presents, or did you buy something for yourself? We're gonna give them enrage. Like, we're just gonna pick up a few more exalted items. I think exalted jewelry is always good. Like, you always need that, right? Like a good rolled, decent exalted jewelry item. Let's get this guy first. My damage. Holy moly, that multiplier is insane. Got a Star Trek ship models from Blue Bricks. Oh. Like sort of technical Lego, but then a different different brand. A bonsai tree set. A friend of mine does bonsai as well. You got like a garden to try it out? Only balcony. Yeah, like I always thought that like bonsai was only with a bonsai tree, right? With those specific sort of like small cute little trees. But then this guy told me that that's not actually the case. Like, you can do bonsai with any, well, probably not with anything, but with like any tree that, you know, like a fern is fine, or there's many trees, as long as you can just, you know, cut it into some sort of shape, it's completely fine. It doesn't need to be a bonsai tree, which was like mind blown for me. I was like, how did they call it bonsai then, right? But that's not how it went down apparently. Yeah, exactly. It's heavily manipulating how a plant grows. Exactly. So he does bonsai with well, all sorts of plants, but not with bonsai trees, which I always find ironic. And he's also part of a bonsai club with other people doing bonsai. I think in Corona times it gained a lot in popularity because this is something that you can do in your garden or in your living room, or in your case on your balcony. So I think it took off during COVID. It's one of those hobbies, right, that people are now all of a sudden into. Yeah, you would think you start with the iconic tree, but I think first of all that tree is pretty expensive, right? That's not really like a great starter tree. Now, I'm not sure on that, but I always thought that like the actual real sort of Japanese bonsai trees are pretty, you know, expensive. So that's probably why you shouldn't start with them. Or maybe they're just hard to get, I don't know. No, yeah, he's using like these super cheap sort of trees that still have like a huge sort of like coverage in terms of like leaves and stuff. It's a little bit like I don't really know what it is in English, to be honest. It can be extremely expensive, but pre-grown ones have been treated for years, right? Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, but that's nice. And what's in a set then? Like also seeds to grow a new one? Or like scissors or something? Like what is typically a part of a bonsai set? A plant? Seeds, a pot, scissors, fertilizer. Yeah, okay. Kind of what I expected. And instructions, really. On how to manipulate the plant. Right. I just missed like 6 attacks in a row there. How long have you been doing this then? Is it for you also like a COVID hobby, or have you been like doing bonsai for like 20 years? I haven't started yet. Oh, you've never done it. Right. Yeah, so like I said, right, it gained a lot in popularity, like chess, for example. Another thing that you can do if you can't go outside, or at least not see other people. Didn't think I would get something like that. Yeah, it is a good gift. She's probably tired of you talking about it. Here's your set. Just go do it. Nah, I'm just joking. I think it's a great gift, actually. It's super original, too. I've never heard anyone getting a bonsai set before. It's my dad's birthday soon as well. Well, it was already his birthday, but he's celebrating soon. And I need to get him something too. Maybe he'll enjoy a bonsai set as well, who knows? I can definitely see him do that. He's got a garden and everything. He's got plenty of time on his hands as well. Yeah, dads are difficult. I mean, I typically just give him like a whiskey or something. That's an easy gift, right? Yeah, which in his case is kind of true. Like, there's not much that he would really need. And nor does he really care about like what I give him, right? That's also kind of like... Not in a bad way, but more like he's happy anyway, right? Nah, like liquor is always good. They do the same thing with me, by the way. Like they just give me whiskey. Ow, sir. I might give him... I actually gave him something similar that you got from the Blue Bricks. But then, I don't know what it was from. But it was like a model of a Lamborghini that you could make. I'm not really sure what brand it was, to be honest. But it was, you had to make it yourself. It took him like 5 days or something to create the whole thing. It might have been from Lego, actually. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, it is super relaxing. I completely understand. And I mean, I do the same, like when I'm not streaming, which is, you know, the vast majority of the time, and I'm not working, which is still, you know, half my week, then, and I'm just chilling a little bit myself. This is also quite relaxing, honestly, streaming like this, but then I'm still doing this, right? I'm still grinding the monolith, for example, because I just want to get to level 95, or I just want to get some more skill points, or I'm farming for a specific buff or something. But quite a bit of this is on autopilot, you could argue. And I do the same thing. I just watch some YouTube, typically Asmongold. I just find that just so sort of interesting. But quite a few other YouTube stuff as well. American Law, I'm really into for some reason. I have never like studied anything remotely close to that, but just a bunch of lawyers, like random lawyers having random YouTube channels, breaking down American civil and like criminal court cases. And providing context as to actually what happened and why that happened or why something didn't happen. I find it fascinating, honestly. I wish people would do that for like the Dutch justice system. I think a lot of people would be much more interested in law that way. What is the law system in the Netherlands actually? I have no idea. Like, I don't know which different law systems exist. Well, it's not a jury, if that's what you mean, right? For me, as a German, American case law is mind-boggling. What do you mean with case law? No, I think as far as I know, in the Dutch like legal system, I think we got the same separation as the Americans do, where it's case law. There's not a law for everything, but they decide case by case. I think we split it. I'm not sure it's case by case, but we split it in the sense that like we have also criminal law. Yeah, because that's how you get like the state versus Roe or something, right? Yeah, I know what you mean. So we don't do that, I'm pretty sure. But we do have the split between criminal law and civil law. So there's that. And then, you know, specializations, I guess. Like there are lawyer. I know a few lawyers as well, and they're like they're specialized, for example, in a specific area. But I think those don't necessarily get like handled separately or by special courts, as far as I know. But I may be very wrong on that, because once again, you don't hear much about like law in the news to begin with for like the Dutch law, right? And it's almost always like either criminal cases. We got a few like high profile criminal cases in the Netherlands which are currently in trial. Or it's like, I don't know, Greenpeace suing the government because they're not doing enough against the warming of the earth, global warming, right? But that's not a criminal case. That's more like, I don't know how to describe that, honestly. But it is a binding case, right? So if Greenpeace wins, then the government has to sort of take more measurements against global warming. And Greenpeace and other organizations have done those cases and won. So as a result, for example, the construction market's completely shut down because of certain shit in the air, and they're too close to like nature areas, and like it's a whole thing. And that's also law, but it's very different, I feel. I wouldn't know what kind of law that is, to be honest. Yeah, lawyers specialize in their fields. I mean, you would expect that to be true anywhere, right? I'm sure in America they do that too. But in America, you got the jury system. And that we definitely don't have. Like, that much I know. And so the one deciding both the fact if somebody's guilty or not and the verdict is the same judge, right? Or in like higher profile cases, it's like three judges, right? There's got three of them, but they do the whole case. Like, there's no juries or anything. Ow. Yeah, but somehow I'm less interested in in Dutch law. Because I think there's just not that many interesting cases happening here. Which, once again, I'm probably wrong about. But in America, you got all these, like... This country is huge, of course, right? So... There are so many interesting cases going on at the same time. Also including some celebrities, of course. And then everything gets broadcasted, because that is typically public. Which is also kind of like... Yeah, that's not super common here in the Netherlands. Definitely not that it gets broadcasted, I'm sure. Like, you could visit in a lot of cases, but I don't think you're allowed to just record everything. Yeah, they got pretty wild stuff, right? And all sorts of stuff too, which is kind of interesting. So, they got like, well, Trump recently, right? In his case, all these celebrities, but also, it's still Trump related. But all the shit that the Republicans are pulling with like Fox News and Tucker Carlson, who's now fired or let go, one of the two. And then the Fox News case against like these voting machines called Dominion, I think it's called. Right? So a lot of like defamation, but then they're settling for crazy amounts, like 800 million or something was the settlement. Or maybe even more. And then these lawyers on the YouTube channels, they just explain what would have probably happened if this went to court instead of a settlement. Or they give just a lot of interesting context around cases like this. And these lawyers tend to be quite the character as well themselves, right? A little full of themselves because, you know, they're probably already successful lawyers and now they have these successful YouTube channels, so they kind of start thinking they actually own the world. But in a kind of funny, you know, it's kind of cocky funny kind of way. Which I enjoy. Right. And they're all wearing suits, of course, because that's what you do with a lawyer, right? Glancing blow? That's fine. And I like that. I like men in suits, so that's all good. But yeah, I got a whole list of like YouTube stuff that I like watching, that I enjoy watching. Esports still. League of Legends esports is currently going on. And what else? My YouTube view list is like all over the place, honestly. Quite a bit of like science, astronomy. Cooking and baking. Watch that too. Some DIY stuff. Managed to watch several guy who's pressure washing. Oh yeah, the pressure washing guy. Yeah, I know that too. That's also amazing stuff. Yeah. Yeah, he just walks up like, hey, can I clean your porch for free? And they're like, what's the catch? Nah, nothing. It's just for free. I record the thing and put it on YouTube. They're completely like what the fuck is this guy doing, right? But that's exactly what he does. He makes like 20-minute videos about it. It's so satisfying to like watch in 20 minutes go like a garden that looks like absolute dog shit into something like shiny. Yeah, it's oddly satisfying to see that. And it's just fixing stuff, really, right? It's just fixing stuff. I think that's the appeal. That is just like, it goes from dirty to not dirty. Like, it's super simple, but people love the concept. You got similar things with like channels restoring, I don't know, like 100-year-old watch. Now, I have seen that a lot of that is actually fake. So, first of all, these things are not 100 years old, and they're not as rusted as they appear to be, because that's what these people did themselves to those objects, and then they put another substance on it to take it off. So it appears that it's like this super rusty, ancient watch, whereas in reality, apparently, it's not at all. So there's a bit more, you know. Yeah, that's more finicky. But this this sort of porch cleaning dude is completely... it has to be legit, right? There's no way you can fake that. And he has multiple channels too. Did you notice that? Like, he's got one for like high pressure, the high pressure cleaning thing. But I think he's got also another one for mowing, for gardening, like mowing the lawn and stuff. Which is the second channel. Yeah, man. Yeah, YouTube suggests the other one. Yeah, because it's the same guy. Imagine making a living out of that. Like, that has to feel good. I mean, that's gotta be good, right? Like, you're doing your work for free. You're making your money via YouTube, because these things got millions of views. All of them, right? Millions of views. And then, yeah. So you're doing something good for like other people who... He also tends to go to these places. Like, he doesn't go to like these high income areas, right? He seems, from what I've seen, he seems to visit, I suppose on purpose, but I don't know, the more the areas that of people that actually like couldn't really afford to have something like that done anyway, and so he just goes there, which I think is also why all of these people, they think they're being scammed, because that's normally what happens if somebody would walk around in that neighborhood, you know, going from door to door. Like, the likelihood of you getting scammed in that situation is insane. So I think that's why there's so much skepticism. Although honestly, I would be the exact same thing. Like, if a guy would walk up here and said, "Hey, shall I clean your windows?" Says, "Sure. What do you want for it?" "Yeah, nothing is free." I'm also like, it's not entirely right. There's got to be something here that you're not telling me, because that's not how the world works. But he's making tens of thousands of dollars per video, and there's no way he would make that much money cleaning a single yard. And then if he, for some reason, like puts a sponsorship in there. Now that sponsorship, I feel, has to make a little bit of sense. Like, it would make it would be pretty strange if he would start advertising a VPN or something. It's like, keep your data secure while you're online browsing with NordVPN. It's like, wait a minute. That's weird, right? I'm wondering what else is in my list. Yeah, some channels go all out of sponsorships. I mean, if you do it sort of in a funny, interesting way, I can appreciate it. But yeah, there are some gaming channels that I used to really have in like high regard, and they're completely lost in the content that they want to do. But every video is now sponsored, and also like these mobile games and shit. It's like holy moly, you know. Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, exactly. I mean, these guys even approached me, believe it or not. Like, they are literally approaching every single content creator. And they're offering good money. Like, that game is making so much money. But holy moly. Like, they're offering even smaller channels like a significant amount. So I'm not at all surprised people take the sponsorships because, yeah, it's good money. But, you know. Raid Shadow Legends. That's like... I heard of a 4-digit sponsored deals from Raid. Yeah. It's much more than 4 digits. Like they're offering me 4 digits already with my size channel, right? So if you are like an actual popular creator with like 1 million subs or something, like these deals go into like the 30-40k or more. Hey, buy the soul. Yeah, thanks, buddy. I've been playing on and off. I've just not been streaming much. But yeah, I've definitely had a bit of a break as well in these in LE. But you know, 0.9 is pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I'm just creating some random builds. I'm trying out some random stuff. You know, a little bit off meta, I suppose. Although I'll be perfectly honest with you, I wouldn't really be able to tell what the current meta is. I'm not that much into the actual scene anymore. I sometimes feel a little bit like this outsider that's just do YouTube, right? I'm not really interacting with too many other creators like you. And yeah. Which sort of works, I guess. But I thought, hey, maybe I should show my face on Twitch again at some point, right? See what's happening over there. Hey, GDI. The last Epoch scene. I mean, just like yesterday, right? There's nothing has changed in that sense. Yeah, I used to stream quite a bit on Twitch as well. And one of the original content creators for the game, right? Like one of the few that started covering the game pretty much from the start. And I've always kept up with it. It's just that it like for the last 2 years, barring 0.9, not much changed, right? And I just didn't really see a reason to play much of last Epoch, and so I didn't. So yeah, I've been branching out a bit to some other games, some other ARPGs, which I think is a good thing to do. Gives you a better perspective when you jump back into last Epoch as well. So yeah, the content was a little bit all over the place, but still mostly ARPGs. And I think right now, I'm gonna focus a bit more on last Epoch and just, you know, have some fun while this lasts. What about you? I've seen some builds of yours.
Easy. Too easy.
On YouTube, that is. I don't really watch too many people streaming Last Epoch though, I'll be honest. I don't watch too many streams to begin with. Hey, Jungaloo. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, you came back just before 0.9. Yeah. Yeah, doing good. Doing good. Still working on the same build. It's definitely getting there. Yes, and power timeline does drop much more exalted. Well, it gives you more interesting nodes in general, right? So you get more unique nodes, more exalted nodes, depending on the level of corruption. And there has to be a sweet spot for this kind of stuff. Yesterday somebody said it's probably around between like 200 and 300. But you will pretty much instantly notice it if you increase the corruption, that you get much more like unique exalted nodes, set nodes. I guess key nodes as well, but not too sure about that. But yeah, just the more rare ones, right? They're just more common in that sense. You've been away from the internet. Right. No, I'm never away from the internet. That hardly ever happens. It's random. Yeah, you should. I mean, it's a good time to get back into Last Epoch, I think. The game's changed a lot with the introduction of 0.9. So, yeah, I would recommend it. The opening is here, isn't it? I mean, I would have recommended it before, honestly. It's not that it was a bad game before, but now it's much more polished and I think a lot more fun to play in general. It also feels much better to play because it is more polished. All the performance issues, well, maybe not all, but a lot of the performance issues are gone. Yeah. I mean, multiplayer is kind of whatever, for me at least. Sure, it's nice if you can play with more people, but yeah, to me it's honestly whatever, right? That's not a massive thing, I feel, for the game, but it is a massive thing in terms of this game being online, server authoritative, that kind of thing. That's pretty good. No more cheating, right? That was a big issue. So, yeah. There we go. Was fun gifting a friend some items, yeah. Yeah, it's probably the best they could do in like that time span or something like that. I don't really know how they went about it. It's not something I'm interested in, honestly. Multiplayer in ARPG, I would almost never do it, right? So, but hey, I'm happy for the people that were waiting for it. That is finally here, and I hope it works the way they expect it to, you know. What's this? A relic with 2 LP though, so that's not too bad. Yeah. You might be able to turn it into something, I guess. And this then also with 2 LP. Not too bad. Thanks for the sub, Wes. Mean health. Daggers is good. Shred is fine, I guess. Gifting actually better than I thought. It's safe per item. Yeah. I'm sure there's a limit to that at some point, right? Like, you would imagine that gifting at some point is not gonna work anymore. Will it save that state forever on a server somewhere? But yeah, it's definitely true. Like you can give an item later. It doesn't have to be in the same session or something. So I guess that makes it a little bit more valuable, but still, like, unless you're playing always with the same person, like you would have to remember, or they, you know, when it dropped, who were you playing with. It's like, will you really make use of that feature like months after the item dropped? That's not a very realistic scenario, I feel. Yeah, indeed. In D4 or in D3, you have like it's time gated. It's also to protect their own servers, right? Because imagine like every item that drops in multiplayer is potentially giftable, right? And then imagine all of those items being stored on a server state. You have to keep the state of that item, meaning that, you know, you have to know when it dropped, who it dropped to. And then for months on end, for the off chance that like 3 months later somebody still wants to gift an item. Like, I don't think I would never make that decision if that was my server, right? So I think there's an expiration date on that system, I would imagine. I've just not read up on it too much, I'll be honest. Like, I don't really know. The multiplayer, the whole multiplayer thing didn't interest me too much, so I don't really know the answers. My friend's the sailor. Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, that's kind of the use case that we're talking about. Like, yeah, we dropped it in a multiplayer session. Now he's on sea for 3 months. But when he gets back, he would really like that item. Yeah, right. From a programming / data architecture perspective, doesn't seem like a great idea. Mm-hmm. I gotta say though, like, this is like 70 corruption? For what we're doing, like for what kind of build this is, we're still completely fine. Like, that crit multi definitely helped. And a little bit of the rework on the tree as well. Like, we got the full crit chance, we got the full crit multi. It's okay. And I think this is like something that not too many people, I think, take into consideration when making a build. Is that it feels really good to play. This is a super fun build to play. And yeah, it's not gonna be the best, right? This build is not gonna survive in 300 corruption, most likely. It's just not. Like, you lack half a skill tree, right? half my skill tree is not there. Because I'm a marksman that is dual wielding daggers. So, you know, we got like 68 points in the rogue base class. and this whole part of the blade dancer is just not available to me. But hey, I mean, that's why I play minion builds. It's fun, yeah. True, it's usually overpowered too. Although I would say minions in last Epoch, they're pretty balanced. They're pretty balanced. Alright, let's do another Raya. For no apparent reason. 165 corruption is where we're at currently. Oh, I survived that? Huh, interesting. Okay. I mean, even that was pretty smooth, right? For a non-boss character. I don't mind this at all. Imperial, love the zombie guardian. Right, yeah. Yeah, see you around, Jungaloo. Have fun, dude. Have fun. We're gonna keep the crit multi. I mean, it's gonna be hard to beat. So we'll keep the current. And yeah, we're almost 95. But for me, it's also time to go, guys. It's we stream for a little over 3 hours. We're gonna keep these sessions somewhat short because I need to work for 2 more days. But we'll be back. It's also easier for me to maintain. Once again, guys, I appreciate you watching and talking and just sharing what you're doing in real life. I'll try to do the same. While I am farming anyway for a build. With a bit of luck, we'll get you this build guide on like Friday, man, or something. Like Friday, Saturday, with a bit of luck. And yeah. That's I think that's it for now. So once again, I appreciate you being here and talk to you real soon. Bye bye, everybody.